Okay, we are recording. It's 6:30. I didn't give people much of a heads up, honestly, at all on this. Obviously, I had it announced on Instagram yesterday, and normally I have a whole thing set up on here on the platform, but I got caught up with stuff. Actually, it's been a while since I've been on here. They changed the whole chat feature on the Sherco platform. Okay. So if you guys want to chat anything on here, I can check it out now. And yeah, I'll get this started. So obviously I'm now riding for Blue Crew Yamaha, and there's a lot of different reasons behind that, but it all kind of came about maybe end of summer, right before TKO. Kind of just, it's always, fair to exercise your options if there's anything available. And, I've been with Sherco now. I was 5 years, so 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I don't know. Somehow that's 5 years, the way it works out that I was with them. But, it was good there. At Sherco, it's just, the owner, Ron, he's an amazing person, just always, stand-up guy. But, at the end of the day, it's a smaller company. They're doing their best, but kind of need more right people in the right position to make decisions. And, it was a common theme of, over-promising and under-delivering there. So, I still hope the best for all those guys. I still, had a good conversation with Ron after I left, and everything's good. I just, I still want to see Sherco do well. And, the biggest thing I felt bad for leaving was everyone I got to get converted over onto Sherco. And then I bailed on everyone that, bought a Sherco because of me. So, but now, like Daniel says here in the comments, everyone's dusting off their YZs. And so a new inspiration for everyone, right? So I've now had, I think, 6 people send me photos or text me in the last 2 weeks, whatever it is, since my announcement, that they've got a YZ 250, whether it was an X or regular YZ, used or brand new. So feel honored. It's kind of cool that people are liking what I'm doing here. And it seems like even just on the Instagram stories between myself and my mechanic Gator, Adam, everyone's been really thrilled and really good feedback on all the Instagram videos. And we've been filming more or less everything going on in the project to get these bikes built out for hard enduro. So I have a ton of stuff to go through. It'll all be on YouTube, probably multiple episodes. And at the end, I want to have an overall generic episode that basically kind of shows what goes into it, what I think is kind of the best scenario. Well, I'll have 2 videos at the end, but one will basically kind of be like a breakdown and showing cost of what it would cost someone to do it. I'm buying a lot of this stuff on my own outright. Some stuff I'm getting discounts on. Obviously, some stuff's sponsor products, so people are giving to me, and then I'm having way too many people just trying to throw stuff at me, whatever it is. I've had to be kind of mean to a couple people, like, yo, that looks really ugly. I don't want that on my bike. So, trying to find what makes the most sense for me and everyone else if they want to go this route with the Yamaha. There's tons of them out there. Aftermarket parts is in abundance. There's no issue at all. So it's just a kind of matter of finding that sweet spot of what's going to be the best. And I really wanted to get my practice bike done today before I had this call to kind of chat about what we've done so far. So on my practice bike, I have revalve suspension for hard enduro. I'm sticking with Race Tech, but I'm not directly Race Tech anymore. Race Tech is supplying me all the parts and, gold valves. All my labor is through a guy locally. He's about within an hour of me, his applied technology. So I have all the insight from Race Tech. They know my old settings, kind of what I liked before. So I threw it on before today, and it was super plush. I'm actually testing with them Thursday. Problem is I'm testing too many things at once. Obviously, I need to test suspension. There's a lot of things I need to do before King of Motos. I don't have a ton of time. So so far feels really good. The suspension with Racetech's components and applied technology. So I'm looking forward to that and actually kind of be able to test stuff. Before we were directly Racetech, and there was an inconvenience with shipping things back and forth. They're really good at listening to feedback and getting the right kind of pinpoints, but actually testing with someone in person, and that's always kind of the best scenario. So yeah, I got Racetech set up. I'm running IRC tire next year, and I've tested their new 140. Always sticking with the JX8, kind of tried and true for everything West Coast related. I think a GX30 front is kind of what I've been sticking to so far, 9090. And in the questions here, I guess I'll do my first question. Ryan Boardman asked what bib I was running this year. So, I haven't, Nitro Moose is trying really hard to get me, and they have some really cool new product coming out. But there's a company out of Italy called Air Moose, and they have like a new importer type guy here. So I tested them out, and so far they feel quite good. I like the feel of them. They come really like vacuum package sealed and foam in there and everything to kind of keep the normal shape of the tire with multiple different sizing options. They're missing a 110 Extreme Moose. So for now, I'm drilling holes in the 110 to fit it in the JX8. But the 140 Extreme Moose is a little bit stiff for the IRC 140, but I can just drill holes in it. It's not an issue. That's what most of the factory KTM guys are doing also anyways. I'll answer a quick question on here. Steve asked if I rode 5 miles of hell on stock suspension. Yeah, that was bone stock. I made like 4 clicker adjustments or something like that. Wasn't bad, but still got a lot of feedback to my hands. So that was stock. Read some of this stuff in here. Yeah, everyone's excited about the YZ250X modding them out. So yeah, I'll be running Air Moose most likely, but I think a couple races I might try and play with that new setup from Nitro Moose that they got. Probably can't talk about it yet, but there's a video online. If you know what's going on, you would see it of Graham with it. Let's see what else is on my practice bike. I'm running Renthal bars, 996 XC gear clamps. I bought these cool caps that basically protect the steering head from getting like water and stuff getting in the bearings and dirt. It's from Carbon Solutions. It's a cool piece. I love how I buy some of these things and then I got emails from the company after the fact, or they're reaching out to me. So I guess I could have hit them up for free stuff, but sometimes it's easier just to buy it. And then one really cool feature is not necessarily a bike component per se, but I signed Rocky Mountain ATV MC as my title sponsor. So the really cool thing about that is a lot of my stuff on my bike builds will be featured through them, and probably 80% of what I'm throwing on my bike is through Rocky Mountain. So it'll be easily accessible for you guys. I have more stuff coming from Rocky Mountain. I literally was just trying to get all this figured out and, already building bikes. I had to get ahead of it. And I just had signed Rocky Mountain right at that. So they're sending me a bunch of stuff, which will be really cool for the bike builds. So yeah, seat concepts, doing my seats. Don't even have my graphics made yet because I'm waiting for Galfer to get signed. Devin asked about what front tire. GX30, I think, is what I like so far. And when I'm doing suspension testing right now, we'll mess with clickers, but it's just to try and get really good feedback of what I think could be better or worse. And I have 3 bikes right now, right? So I only have 1 setting done. So we can easily swap out valving and retest stuff. So it'll be pretty cool and handy when it comes to testing to have multiple sets kind of on hand to flip out quickly. So with the Rocky Mountain deal, I will be MSR. I'm not sure what boots I'll be wearing yet. So I still got to test some stuff out. But, I have a good relationship with Garnet. So I just got jacked up feet. That's my issue. Dirt bikes and boots all my life, trials boots, and breaking my foot a couple times. It's not good. So, and then I'm wearing Havoc goggles next year, and it's not about the bike. People care more about the bike, but Havoc goggles. I have a really good relationship. It's a good buddy of mine. Him and his buddy started it. So, um, it's hard right now in the industry, as I'm finding out. Like I've been with Scott for quite some time, and I think they're just not really in a good place and couldn't even get a hold of the guys. So I kind of was like, well, I guess I'm moving on. Thanks for the time. And I've been with Arai now for quite some time. A really comfy helmet. They've been everything great for me. But at this point in my career, I've kind of been waiting for the new helmet to come out. And with hard enduro, the most important thing is ventilation, I would say, and then weight. And Arai is not really known for its venting capabilities and the weight. So I'm actually going to be running Aero moving forward, Italian brand, super lightweight, and they have like a new importership set up here in the States. So I just got that part done. I'm just waiting on a lot of things for my official team announcement because, I'm waiting on the boot side of things, the helmet, and waiting on to hear back from Galfer. I've gone back and forth with them multiple times, but, just to have, better rotors and brake pads. Steve brought up running mousse balls with foam mousse pieces in between. Yeah, at the end of the year, basically we were running mousse balls, and I had a hard time getting the setting right on most mousse balls, which is why ultimately I went going back to a standard mousse, and I was running like front mousse balls like sideways to cover the gaps there. So, I think mousse balls are still great. It's just they kind of shrink quicker. And it was hard to get and I talked to him. He reached out to me, and he even said they have some new stuff coming to kind of fix the issues that they were having with the slower hard enduro type settings. So anyways, sometimes I can't do all the testing and wait for everyone. I'm like, sorry guys, I don't have the time. I got plenty of other stuff I'm working on. So back to the bike. So far I've had quite a bit of people reach out to me in aftermarket high compression heads. So far, the X is a lower compression, and then a standard YZ250 is like a medium type compression head. It's higher than X, but basically it's the same dome. It just has more decking material on the head. So I've ordered multiple heads from Yamaha. And 2010 and older head was like their highest compression head. It was like 10.9 to 1. So at my house, at Donner, at Silver Kings, I'll be running it's the 5UP head from YZ250, 5 up. I think it's 5UP, but I like saying 5 up. And then for most all the rest of the hard enduros throughout the season, I'll be on the 5MW head. At least for now, I have options, but I'm kind of want this bike to look somewhat stock. And then I think a really cool aftermarket part I've thrown on there is it's called Hitless. I think it's Productive Power LLC makes it. And it's a guy who just has been riding YZs forever, and it basically changes the characteristics of the power valve and like those pulley cams. I don't know, whatever you want to call them, but on the standard YZ 250X, YZ 250, they're very like a sharp angle, right? So it's like a soft entry, and then it ramps up. And on my YouTube videos, whenever those comes out, you can literally see how like a smooth transition the power valve is, and you can adjust the governor and everything. So I think that's a good add-on that I've put on the bike that'll hopefully give me the characteristics I'm looking for. Like I said, I rode a little bit today, but I'm at 7,400 feet, so nothing really runs fantastic at my house. A lot of first gear riding, even on the Sherco. A lot of my practice areas, because a lot of times in the spring and summer I'm riding much higher than my house. So, and then I threw on the GYTR flyable weight on my practice bike. When I originally talked to Yamaha, I told them my biggest concern was a fan. So they mocked up basically kind of the similar setup they make with their supercross teams in a mud race. So I have a fan. It is a total loss system, but I made it we'll call it a half loss system. I got a aftermarket stator through Steely. I think it's out of England. That's like 30 watts max, roughly 25 watt output stator. My fan is about probably pulling about 35 watts. I think I asked Yamaha. So I threw a map switch, a G2 switch for mapping, but it's basically an on-off switch right on my bar. So I moved my kill switch kind of out of reach, and I now have a switch to turn my fan off and on. So we tested out with a voltmeter. It's recharging as long as the fan is off. So first thing I'm doing Thursday is, kind of just seeing how long it lasts if I had the fan running 24/7. That was a big concern of mine. I swapped out radiator caps. Stock is 1.1 bars. So that's like putting a piece of paper over your radiator and expecting it to not boil over. So yeah, GYTR flywheel weight. I have a Recluse torque drive clutch in right now. The stock clutch is good. I actually was impressed by it, but it's going to cost me in a parts budget to, even at Sherco or KTM, we were putting a new clutch in every race regardless. So, we got at least 10 hard enduros in the series, a couple other select events. So try not to burn up my Yamaha budget too much. Devin at Crosslink brought up the stators failing. Yeah, I heard many bad things about Panthera electric star system and their stator failing and screwing people over and no spark. The bike just won't run. So that's why this setup is not on my race bike. So for now, I'll have less moving parts. It's just I'm basically putting this on my practice bike all year to prove it, and then moving forward next year and whatnot, I will plan on having probably putting some sort of aftermarket stator on the race bikes. I got rental. I swapped out this gearing. Stock is like 1450. It's pretty tall. So for now I have 1352 and I'm trying not to waste chains, right? So I started 1352 a little bit further back, and moving forward, I can, if I want to do like a 1350 or something, I can either, take a link out of the chain and kind of get in the right spot. So trying to not waste chains if I don't have to. I'm, resourceful best I can. So 1352 for now, hopefully to get a little bit more use out of second. But like I said, in my house, it's pretty hard to use second unless you got some decent momentum at high elevation. Let's see. I got ASV levers, which I'm quite happy about. And just the feel, like you can adjust it easier. I got cable on my practice bike, but here pretty soon I have the Magura on my other bike, so I'm either gonna try it on that bike. I think I'll try it on so I don't have to swap it back and forth if I don't have to. The bike's literally they're set up just the same. I'm just waiting on a clutch and waiting on some reed cages to put my other bike back together. So this year for the hard enduro, I do plan, as of now, doing e-start race bike and the kickstart race bike. I bought a Brembo from Italy. That was not cheap. So if anyone who wants to do this conversion kit, if you've got vet dollars, buy the Brembo kit. But I think that's going to be the best aftermarket clutch method. I'm just concerned. I just need to take the time to make sure it'll work in conjunction with an e-start if I want to go that route. I ended up going with a Fish Moto e-start, and it was hilarious. I called them. I'm going back and forth with Steely, making sure I can kind of do the stator and this and that, and testing it. And I'm like, oh, do you guys do discounts for, riders, racers? And they're like, oh yeah, like, if you have a YouTube or, Instagram, like we can do a discount for you, and I was like, okay, yeah. Like, like I said, I'm Cody Webb, multi-time enduro cross champ, world super enduro champion. I podiumed Erzberg a few times, and the guy's like, yeah. And I can feel like I can hear him typing on his computer. So I got 15% off on my Fish Moto. So, it's still expensive. And then after the fact, they realized who I was and custom engraved my name on it. So that was pretty sick, but it was pretty funny. Nice, humbling experience to buy something like that. I know what it somewhat feels like to be a non-factory rider now. So yeah, E-Start. I want to make sure the Brembo fits. So with the Magura setup, the Magura is just the hydro setup. You got it's not a cable, but the the hydraulic line that goes down, and in like there's like the actuator arm that basically controls the rod that goes across to the clutch behind the ignition cover. And with a Magura, it just actuates that lever arm. So it's really only doing this, and you have like some loss in there. No matter what, on a linkage type system, or like you're going to have a loss or some discrepancy. So, and the cable, it's the same thing, but even worse, well, better. The pull's not bad on the cable stock, to be honest. Same with the AFC lever, it helps, but it gets hot and you got to adjust on the fly to get that tension back. So that's the benefit of having a hydro clutch, is it auto kind of regulates that engagement point for you. So the Brembo, though, mounts directly to your case. So I haven't watched the YouTube video, but I'm pretty sure I have to like drill and tap some sort into my side case. So it's like measured 10 times, cut once. But the benefit of the Brembo is it's a direct inline contact with that rod. So I think that's going to be the best setup. It's just a little stressful to mount that one up. So yeah, for now, just the cable clutch on my practice bike, XC gear clamps, like I said, got funnel web filters. Definitely gonna mess this up because I haven't done this yet. But yeah, RK chains, the Excel wheels. W built my wheels, so I have some super bitchin' magnesium colored Hahn hubs that I'm stoked on. They look really good. And I didn't go with the A60. A lot of people were bringing it up when I was posting about my bike build, about the A60s. A60s are just really overbuilt. Like, they are solid wheels and very rigid. So something with a little bit more flex. And for the most part, I'm not like hitting rocks full speed, trying to pick it apart. So I went with the Tagasako rim. So then W has been great. Like, that's honestly probably been like my most down to earth sponsor, chatting with him, helping me out. I'm really happy so far with having W on board. And then Polysport's gonna be on my plastics. I've got the tanks. Unfortunately, Polysport only has a stock size tank. So I'm running a 3.2 gallon tank. There's IMS and a Cherubies. And the fan that Yamaha mocked up for me, it's pretty funny. At some point, I'll share all this, probably on my YouTube. But the oversized tank in the front where the fan was did not fit. So I'm like in my garage with a heat gun modding out my tank to get it to fit. So I got the one tank, and I talked to Yamaha, and I was like, yo, we need to move this fan up. It's going to fit, but we need to mock this up better. Needs to be mounted higher up so it has some clearance, right? So I got it to fit. I called him up, and I was like, I was able to get another tank. I bought 3 of them, and they were out of stock. And then I got in touch with them directly. And I had a tank sent to Yamaha yesterday. So hopefully I'll get the rest of my race fan radiators so I can get those bikes put back together. So, and then I'll have Adam or Gator come out again, help me finish the wiring and stuff on them. But just picking my way apart now. We got a big portion of all the bike builds out of the way, and we're waiting on a couple parts. So once I get the fan, I know it's going to work, get the big tank, I'll be squared away there. So I'm running the Kian carb still. I'm going to probably keep it stock, I believe. And there's the Power Jet. I don't know. Only the Yamaha has the Power Jet, apparently, from what I've heard. So what I have right now, I think it's not quite right for where I live. It was close today, but a little bit. It sounded like a hair lean still. I changed it out for a 40 Power Jet, which is what everyone told me to do. Currently, I have a 170 main. That's from my house. So I think, if I ride down a little bit, I'll probably go to 172. King of Motos, good chance I'll probably end up on a 175. Right now I have a 45 Pilot. It's in the middle. And sorry, I can jump ahead of myself. Right now I got a 45. It was just, it's the same thing on trials. We have a smaller displacement. It's not as much volume there. So like when I would go to elevation on trials bikes, we'd actually go up a step on the pilot jet. And normally on the Sherco 300s, we were going down if we went higher up in elevation. And it's something to do about like the volume of the cylinder. It like doesn't have that like ability to pull as much through. So you almost have to like flood it a little bit more on the bottom right off the bat. This is just what I've heard and what we used to do on trials bikes. And today it just seemed like I had to go pretty far in on the air screw to get it where I wanted it to be. And the air screw is kind of for fun. Like you can get it to work, but I want it to be kind of a good base setting for everything in my area. So I'm probably gonna go up to a 48 pilot Thursday. I'll ride it and throw a 48 in and see if that helps. I changed out the needle to what 3 different people recommended to me. I don't know what the hell needles mean. I know what the taper and everything does, but I don't know what each means. But I got the N3 EJ. I'm in the middle needle. So yeah, that's what I got so far. Ryan Boardman says he does not miss jetting his bike. And yeah, I don't have gray hair yet, but I'm still kind of enjoying jetting my bike. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, everyone, I don't know, all the old timers, like they don't have jet hair, or gray hair, they can't jet a bike, 2-stroke, but they're kind of right. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Keen, I'm not sure yet. I have V-Force and Boysen reeds to try out, but it sounds like Boysen has a newer kind of hard enduro reed. Really keen to try that. Hopefully that's here soon, so I can throw that in. So both are great companies, V-Force and Boysen. I think no matter what, I'll end up in a good spot there. So, Devin said he has some jetting nose for the YZ, but no gray hair. Yeah. You don't know then. You're just acting like a know-it-all. That's what the old timers will tell you. We talked about mousses, talked about the clutch, hitless. I got the oversized tank, 3.2 gallons. I was trying to get something that didn't hang down super far and look ugly because I'm trying to get it to look stock-ish. Yeah, I got the Renthal. Yeah, I think that covers most everything on the bike for now that I can think of. So I got a ton of questions that came up from Instagram. A lot of the stuff I talked about. What mods will you make? 300, 6-speed, hydro clutch, button start. Yeah, definitely not doing a 6-speed. I don't got time for that. I wish I did, unless you want to build me one. 300, no. I've heard not the best things. They vibrate a lot, and everyone just thinks the 300 is your fix. But the problem is, it's like the 300 on a KTM or Sherco, like this, there's a lot more different. It's not like just like adding volume gives you that bottom end. Like the stroke is different. There's a lot of other things going on there. I did hear something good about a 265 kit. I'm just going to run it as a 250 for now, just to show off after I beat these guys. I can talk smack to them. That's my plan. Highland Cycles asked if I feel more attractive. I do. I feel damn sexy on the YZ. It sounds so good. I think it's a sound thing that makes me feel sexier. That's got to be it. Someone asked if a 140 8018 will fit. Yes. Yeah, it will fit on your bike. You just need the right mousse. Weird question. We got an E-Start, and you're keeping a 250. Yep. Yep. I got an E-Start. I think I'm going to have another one coming to play with on my other practice bike. And I probably need a spare anyways. So luckily I have some sort of, we'll call it allowance from Yamaha towards development type stuff and mechanical things. So that's helpful because, obviously I don't want to spend a ton of money doing this. And like no one else wants to spend a ton of money doing this either. And I got 3 bikes. So, and I already got people calling dibs on buying my bikes at the end of the year. So that means I'm gonna have to get new E-Starts. I'll just jack up the price when I sell them. How does that work? Name the difference from this build and a normal enduro bike. Suspension. It's softer, a lot plusher. It's going to feel way less rigid just because of the suspension setup. Tank capacity, I'm going to 3.2 gallons. Cooling, man, I don't really want to run Evans. Makes the bike run hotter. I'm all about efficiency over here. As an engineer in thermodynamics, the hotter it's running, the worse it's going to run. So, and Evans will keep it from boiling, but I got a fan. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Frame/weight. Well, I'm pretty sure it already weighs less than all the other bikes because there's nothing to it, even though the motor's from 2006. There's no wires. It's crazy. It's, pretty easy to work on too. So I'm going to leave the frame. I beefed up the swing arm so I don't lose those tabs. Yeah, heat transfer, dude. Like Evans makes your bike run worse, especially on do not run Evans in a 4-stroke. That's my message to you. No Evans in your 4-stroke. You will melt something that's a plastic gear or something in your KTM that keeps putting cheaper parts in it. Did I just say that? Oh, sorry, my bad. This is a long question. Do you think after making the YZ comparable to a KTM, here's some examples: stock tank size, E-Star power valve. Do you think the price of the YZ will be similar? I think it'll be a little bit cheaper still, but you can get a leftover KTM for $8,000 and a free e-bike with it. So maybe you just wait a year if you want to do that route. But yeah, at the end of the once I get everything set up here, I will compile a list for everyone because I want to know for myself, and the average person is going to want to know. So I'll have that information. I do not have it right now. Too busy trying to build these things so I can ride them. It's more fun to ride them. Why do you use a 2-stroke for hard enduro but a 4-stroke for enduro cross? The 2-stroke, they don't run very hot. You get stuck on a 4-stroke. It's just heat blasting you through the fan, blowing hot air at you. So that's one reason that people most normally don't think about. That's why I brought that up. They feel heavier. You can throw it on the stand. It doesn't really feel that heavy. The new ones are crazy light. Because all the development is going into the 4-strokes. The 2-strokes, besides KTM, don't really get much development these days. So 4-strokes are getting lighter. They still feel heavier when you're riding them. 2 reasons. They're kind of both the same reason, but 2 reasons. The first one is when it's running, you have more rotating mass in the engine, right? So it's going to make the bike feel more planted. But when you're trying to do more nimble movements, like flipping the front end around, you get stuck, get going again, it's going to feel heavier because there's more moving parts in the engine. I don't know. We can watch a YouTube video about inertia, and it'll kind of show like how those rotating weights or rotating mass will affect the gyroscopic effect of things. Now this is a gyro, but second reason they feel heavier to me is an engine braking thing. A lot of times you're actually 4-strokes will have, even if it weighs about the same, it's going to have a stiffer suspension setting because of engine braking. You let off the gas, it's going to kind of push you forward, right? Like you let off the gas on your 2-stroke and it kind of keeps carrying speed. While you let off on a 4-stroke, your weight comes forward. It feels heavier, even though it's may be lighter. So it's just, that's why we're riding for hard enduro, a little more nimble. You brake, you can fix it a lot easier. Break a 4-stroke, I don't know what's going on. For enduro cross though, it's almost like arena cross these days. So there's a lot of like jumps right out of a corner, and like the 4-stroke torque for that is just very right there. Like, the 300 2-strokes lug well, but there's more clutching involved. And you get a lot of the factory guys get their bikes tuned pretty good and helps them from stalling, but the 4-strokes are pretty easy to jump and you barely have to touch the clutch to be like, and pop off something. So to me, that's why it's basically arena cross now with some logs on it and some rocks. Another E-Star question. Yep. Aftermarket heads. I'll get there. I got higher compression ones now from Yamaha, so plenty of options though. Am I going to get a custom one, like a WR gearing? No, unless Yamaha builds me one. I'm not doing that. I don't have time. Are you going to stay with the stock fuel tank? 3.2 gallons is what I've upgraded to. So I need to get another one. Just a bunch of investments going on here. Do you have any connections with someone at Yamaha in Japan? I have connections with the Yamaha guy. They have like a liaison. I'm better at math than English. I think there's always kind of like a couple Japanese guys at Yamaha because the U.S. is a huge market, right? So I got a connection with a guy here. No one directly there. I've chatted with a couple, but I do have the opportunity with IRC, which is really cool because they're Japanese as well. So working in conjunction with Yamaha, if I can get a bike and visit both factories and do a cool, yeah, I really want to go. So it's looking like 2026. I'll be in, go to Japan. Build a fourth and auction it. Yeah, I'm going to have to do the Max Kirsten bike giveaway thing. Would you ever want to try a rally race on the Yamaha? Yeah, there's an opportunity there on the Tenere. I don't have one yet, but originally I actually talked to Yamaha like 4 years ago now. 4 years ago. No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, sorry. And I met someone in France who was like basically Poltar as his manager. So, do I want to do it? Maybe. It's a lot different than what I'm used to, and yeah, I don't know. There's an option there. I don't know if I'm going to do it though. I'm going through multiple questions here. The new IRC FIM tire. I don't think I ran the 140 JX8. I think it was like an FIM style tire one. It didn't really look like the JX8, maybe because it was so wide. It was really soft. It's a very soft compound. The sidewall is super pliable. I don't think it's a West Coast tire. It's something I most likely will be running at Hawaii, probably Battle of the Goats. I don't know about Tough Lake Roar, maybe Locked and Loaded, more of an East Coast style tire from what I've ridden so far. I lost my spot in the questions here. Another E-Start. Another oversized tank question. It's not a sponsor of mine, but I may have bought in a chair piece. What gearing are you going to run? 1352 right now. I will keep playing with that. That's not a confirmed, finalized gearing setting. Why would you change that much on a bike? That will give a false idea to the customers. Dude, because it's fun. I don't know. Why are you being a Debbie Downer? No, I feel like I'm actually kind of somewhat getting to use my engineering degree. So I get your point though, but I think everyone who rides understands that the YZ250 in its stock form is not really a hard enduro bike. So it's been a fun, I want to say challenge. It's been a fun experience, fun adventure for me to try and get this bike figured out for this kind of stuff. So I don't know. I guess it gives a false sense, but I'm having fun doing it. So whatever. Sorry if I offended you. Gearing plans again. Still working on that. How will you run a fan without a stator? Do they sell a stator kit? So, like I said, I have a part-time loss system right now. I'm going to probably have two separate batteries on the race bikes this first year, at least, to not have a failure. So there's really high capacity RC car style or drone style batteries. It's probably what I end up running and have the on-off switch on the bars. So that's where I'm at there. 250X uses WR at 3 to 5 gears, but I like the full ratio. Yeah, I don't think I wish a WR thing would happen for me, but sorry. I mean, maybe, but as of now, I don't think so. Big question. How do you tend to improve torque to handle hard enduro? Like I said, GYTR flywheel weight, and then the high comp head help kind of liven it up a little bit right off the bat, and the hitless power valve system. And then I'm playing with pipes. Everyone's telling me you need to run the gnarly. I still think the fatty might be better. I guess I got to think for fatties. You like that? That was good. I thought it was funny. Will 2026 YZTV have to have an e-start option and a battery? No. I don't think so. But I kind of got in trouble for saying it once already, so I won't say it again. But someone may or may not be making something that may come to market. Okay, how does aluminum frame with KYB suspension compare with the steel frame? It's a hard comparison because the frame itself is so different, so it feels different. I feel like I can maybe jump off things better. And I think that's because obviously the aluminum chassis is there's a lot more beef to it there. So it's more rigid. So it's got more hold up for that kind of stuff. So in slow rocks, I haven't tested with the hard enduro setting yet. The biggest thing for me between the chassis is the Sherco frame tabs are really funky. And the Sherco chassis is tight for me. It was always hard for me to sit forward on the seat. The 25 Sherco has changed. And I've heard good things about that chassis. I have no say in that, but from what I've heard is it helps hold you further up on the front of the seat. So on the YZ, I can get more comfortable on the bikes standing and sitting. I can get a little further up, and I haven't even put my lower pegs on yet. So the frame tabs on the Sherco, though, they're just not in a good spot. And it's hard to explain until you ride one, and then you instantly know. And then if you run lower and further back pegs like me, you're like, oh, wow, this is funky. So it's it was easier for me to hop on the YZ chassis and be able to grip the bike with my lower legs and kind of get further up on the seat. I know that didn't really answer your question, but it feels good. I like the YZ chassis so far. Oops. Is GYTR developing a bolt-on electric start? I watched Max Kirsten's podcast, giving him a shout out, but I'm not saying anything anymore. What gearing are you running? I won 1547. I know a lot of desert racers run 1546. You and I are not in the same universe, bro. Yeah, stock was 1450. I want nothing to do with a 46 or a 47 and even a 15 up front. Dude, that's way too fast. What do you say your saga? I will let you know Thursday. I will remember this question and respond back to that one. Any custom transmission work? No. Wet jetting specs? I answered all that. Wet tires? Answered. Hydro clutch, fishy. Yeah, so update on my E-Start build or E-Start setup. Panthera does not allow a Magura clutch. Fishmoto apparently does allow the fitment of a Magura clutch. So I may be buying a couple more Brembos and spending a lot on my budget to get a Brembo if I can get the Brembo to fit. So that's my new update on E-Start and Hydro combo. Oh, dual question. So, I'm currently planning a YZ build. Nice, my man. Started the idea before it was cool. Even better. I mean, I've been starting before it was cool too, obviously, back since August. Do you have any must? Hitless, E-Start, 508, clutch. Honestly, the stock clutch wasn't bad. And the cable, I would change out the lever 100%. The stock lever is from 1986. So get an ASV lever, unbreakable. They have factory levers that are sick, but for off-road, if you fall, you don't want to bend your lever, and they're kind of expensive. So get an unbreakable. Hitless seems good. It looks promising. I'll let you know a couple days, but I've heard really good things about Hitless. So Hitless, E-Start if you want to spend the money. You can probably honestly leave it as a cable clutch. Flywheel weight, yes. High comp head, yes. Aftermarket lever. And I will do like Cody Webb's 5 most recommended upgrades for your YZ250. I'll have that on YouTube here eventually. Well, the young bucks still call you old if you whoop all of them in the US Hard Enduro Series. Yeah, they'll probably still call me old. They're just jealous. Do you think an 04 looks better than a 2024 blue steel? Yeah, those bikes do look good, but I like the aluminum frame look more. But I kind of like that question. That was a good question. What head are you running? Currently, the 5UP at high elevation, 5MW, just a Yamaha YZ250 head. Different compressions, different years. Ooh, there's a lot going on here. Talking about gearing. Yeah, the YZ clutch is fun. Any talk, 6-speed. All similar stuff. So everyone's got the same questions about E-start, wide ratio transmission, whether it's a 6-speed essentially. The clutch, I got a Recluse Torque drive-in right now. They're sending me their old one as well to test more like generic standard style Yamaha clutch. I got stock brake pedal on for now. Honestly, the bikes are pretty wild out of the box. Like I haven't even adjusted my rear brake pedal on my 2-stroke or my YZ450. Like I'm normally super picky about the height engagement position. Both of them were solid right off the bat. So there's plenty of stuff that are really nice about those bikes, and the thought process when they built them. Pretty nice to work on. So I just remembered few more things on the build. Bulletproof designs, radiator guards, rear rotor guard, rear caliper guard, and the swing arm tab. I don't know what you call that. Beef up the swing arm tab. So it basically kind of like bolts the 2 swing arm tabs together, makes it more of a rigid piece. I got the BRP chain guide. I've seen some videos online of people saying the stock chain guide's fine. It is not. I should send a photo of the stock chain guide that I didn't even ride hard enduro. I was just riding the bike, having fun. Stock chain guide, not good. I posted today my swing arms. I did send to a fab shop and beefed up all the front tab, add a little bit more weld to the back tab. So I have the bulletproof piece on there, BRP chain guide. I would say that's a must. That's another one of my must adds to your YZ250 build. So that's about it for now. I think I answered everything pretty honestly and truthfully. One thing I want to say though is sorry to everyone on here. It's been, I wouldn't say tough. It's just been a lot of work to put this whole thing together. And like, I'm my own team right now. So it is only me. I would like to add a junior rider moving forward. I do have that opportunity. Whereas like if I don't sell my bikes, I have all the bikes in my name. So I own all my bikes right now. So either I keep my bikes and give them to someone to help them out, or they can buy bikes for cheap. And, I should be able to get, it's not like I'm the only person on the team right now. So like my allotment isn't crazy for sponsored product. This isn't an ad trying to get a rider right now. This is just my plans for what I want to do. So yeah, just saying, I've been really busy putting this whole thing together since August. And obviously I was hurt for a bit. I wanted to get better, and I signed a 3-year deal doing this. So, I didn't want to deal with a stress fractured scaphoid. So that's why I missed part of endurocross. And, I felt bad for Sherco because, I knew kind of the direction I was going, even though I hadn't signed yet. I knew where I was probably going to end up at, and I missed most of my last series with them. So, I came back for the last 2 rounds completely underprepared, but I wanted to I want to be there for myself first off, but I also wanted to have a good final send off with them. So yeah, I was just trying to get better for the future. But yeah, lining up sponsors, trying to get budget. Some people were like, yeah, no problem. And then I laughed. I couldn't even get free boots from Alpine Stars. And I'm like, bro, you're paying Jet $1 million a year. And some of these other guys, and like, you know, I don't know where it's at now. I haven't checked. But like that first week of my Yamaha announcement with Blue Crew, besides the announcement of them going and Blue Crew supporting MX Nations, I was like the highest viewed thing on there. So I know the off-road market is all about this and it's huge support. Just it's hard trying to get some of these more moto-based companies to understand, like, dude, you guys are missing the point. Like, yeah, sure, Supercross is in TV, but your average guy is avid about off-road. So I'm really excited where I ended up, though. Like, I was trying to get some more moto-related sponsors into off-road, but the fact that I've ended up now with Rocky Mountain as my title sponsor and MSR, you know, Malcolm just passed away, but he's a legend in the sport, so pay respect to him. But I'm really happy with where I've ended up with the support of Rocky Mountain. Moving forward, trying to get them involved with going to more of our hard enduro races and getting some more kind of like activation stuff, as well with like trying to promote. Like last year, I did the Rocky Mountain Fantasy Supercross with you guys on here. I plan on doing that again and actually trying to get like some really cool prizes from Rocky Mountain to give out like each week to members on here. So some cool stuff moving forward. I've just been busy trying to coordinate my life. This is what I do for fun for you guys and enjoy it, and trying to help promote the sport. And then obviously I got to take care of myself and my family. So this is trying to catch up now on all this. A couple more questions on here that came up that I missed. Sorry, I answered some of these just by accident. Are you running a front rotor guard? I know Han hubs can be tricky. Yeah, I think there's going to be a tricky thing I need to figure out. Polysport's sending me some. So I got to figure that part out. I need a front rotor guard no matter what I do. So, and the problem is I don't like running the big aluminum ones, like bulletproof. I'm never going to bend my rotor ever. But, you know, the aluminum catches and gouges, and it's a lot of weight up on the front of the bike. So I'm more of the guy who's a fan of like the rotor guard deflectors, we'll say, like whether it's carbon or plastic. So I'll get something to work. We got a greetings from Malaysia on here. That's wild. That's cool. Grayson asked if I'm running a headlight. No, probably not running a headlight. Sorry. I think what I end up getting is I'm sure Moto Minded makes headlight kits, and I got like an old Baja Designs light, and I do have the stator now. So, but I might get like a more like custom fit setup for Moto Minded. Devin mentioned R Enduro for the front motor guard. Do they have a plastic one or like a deflector versus some massive chunk of aluminum that I'm going to gouge on every rock? Sorry to people who run aluminum rotor guards. So yeah, also I redid my office. I'm pretty proud. I finally hung my helmets. These have been in my trailer for like 5 years. So I'm missing a couple. I don't know where they are. That one right here, that was my favorite. I flew to the race and my gear didn't show up, and I scored an Arai helmet, a white one. And then I got the graphics from Red Bull and mocked up my own. It's like my favorite one, even though it's super plain. That one over there, I can't point. Jesus, what's going on? At the farthest right, Motorcycle Superstore, way down there. I had a bunch of those, but I only kept one of them. So that one was cool. A lot of history for me. in these helmets. So 6 days. I got my 6 days helmet right there. I got a 2017 championship bike, Darren Ralph's skiing jersey from a famous race in Austria. Yeah, I don't know, trying to make my stuff look cool and fancy. Anyways, that's about it. We are 55 minutes in, so I think that's it. If you guys, I'll post something on here. I mean, I know I posted stuff in the past about getting other people on. Ryan Boardman, if you're still here, I got your dad's number. I'll text him. I'd like to have TSP on here, just talking about everything for the Austrian brand stuff, even though, you know, I'm not promoting those guys, but it's fine. It's good stuff. There's a lot of guys here riding Austrian bikes. So talking about TSP, Matt Musgrove from US Hard Enduro, going to have him on here at some point. So yeah, trying to get these back up and running again and keeping you guys in the loop. Cause I was pretty secretive there for a bit. Even though everyone in Endurocross knew, I had to be secretive. So hopefully YouTube stuff starts coming out soon with bike builds and recaps. And that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we're out. Catch you guys later.